Welcome to the Blind Justice Podcast, where you discover the insider secrets of injury and accident cases, and all of your law questions get answered. Now, here's your host, Chicago injury lawyer, Scott DeSalvo.
Hey, Chicago, it's Scott DeSalvo, your favorite injury lawyer, with my stunning, amazing co-host,
Amelia Finefrock.
Here back with another podcast, and we're going to continue on with what we've been doing, which is answering people's questions. You got a question, send us an email at service@desalvolaw.com, or you can call Jessica at the office number, which is 312-835-3976, extension 5, because that's her extension. That's how you reach her.
Edge of my seat. It's very titillating.
Yes. I'm going to leave that one alone.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a bunch of questions, but what's new with you? Anything exciting?
I'm in a band now. So
You're
I'm
in
really
a band
excited.
now.
Yeah.
What's the name of the band?
It's called Bellwether, and it's like an alt country band.
That's cool.
For now. I think I'm changing it a little bit.
More alt or more country?
It's more rock more than anything. So I think it's shifting.
Country is very pop rock, right? Like, I mean, you have bands like The Killers and...
Love The Killers.
Like some bands here and there, but it's hard to... Like, how many rock bands that are newer get airplay?
I don't know. Like, I think of Maroon 5, but they're like pop rock, And they're not really rock, classic rock.
That's super poppy.
It's
right?
super
Maroon
poppy.
5 is super poppy, super R&B influenced.
Yeah.
Which,
so not rock at all.
Right. I mean, I guess it's like soft. See, whenever somebody says soft rock, I think 1970s and Karen Carpenter and...
I think of The Elevator. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Like, whoever is on a date and they're like, I'm into soft rock. It's like, are you, buddy?
Really? Should we stop at the store for some, like, testosterone injections for you now?
Do you want Frosty? Or are you okay?
Do you need a hug? Because I'll find someone who will hug you.
Yeah. Oh,
you disgust me, frankly.
Yeah.
God, how do we get off on these tangents? Anyway.
Alt rock, yeah.
So we've got another email from I can't tell you whether they're really a client or a potentially client or just somebody who sent me a message.
Can you give me a multiple choice answer?
I'll hold up some fingers, but I won't explain what any of it means.
Blink 3 times if it's who I think it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, but you have to tell me what 3 knocks means. You can't just knock 3 times. Anyway, so do you want to read
the
amazing, and I will attempt, perhaps in vain, to shed some knowledge on this thing?
When can I read in an accent or do an impression of something?
I'll tell you what, if you read this one very well, we're going to have you do an accent at the end of the podcast.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, that's fair.
I am not the boss of you. You can totally do whatever you want.
If that's the case, kicks everything off table. Okay. I was involved in a car accident. I was stopped at a traffic light when I got the green turn arrow. The SUV that hit me was going in the other direction. He had a passenger, and I was traveling alone. I spoke with a Chicago accident lawyer, and he said it would be 2 against 1, so he told me he would not take the case. I broke my wrist, I missed a month from work, and this guy in the SUV ran the light. Is the Chicago accident lawyer I talked to correct? Do I have a case, or is it hopeless?
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. I would love to have a case like this in my office, right? So for sure, witnesses matter in cases like this. In any car crash case, if you are not seriously injured, or if somebody is seriously injured, obviously at the crash, assist them. But I always tell people, no matter how you've got injured, but definitely in a car crash, see if there are witnesses, right? Another thing that the lawyer who refused your case, like, I don't know why a lawyer wouldn't sign this case up and investigate it, because so the lawyer is correct in the sense that if the SUV had a driver and a passenger and you were alone in the car, in theory, the SUV driver and passenger could collude and come up with a story about how you didn't have a turn arrow.
Sure.
They had a solid green, and you just turned left in front of them.
Right.
It happens all the time.
I'm
right?
sure.
Now, there's a lot of things that can be developed in a case like this, and the fact that there's a broken wrist and some serious lost time from work, and sometimes a broken wrist heals just fine, and sometimes it's arthritic or you lose range of motion, right?
Yeah.
I have a lady in the office now, not this case, but a lady who broke her wrist, and she has surgery and the whole thing, and she has serious strength deficits in the hand. It's her right hand, and she's right hand dominant.
Oh, well then.
And like her range of motion in the hand and wrist is terrible.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Because you pick things up, you write.
Not anymore. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's really sad.
That
so
sucks.
a broken wrist can be minor, or it can be serious.
I would be so angry. I'd be livid.
Yeah, the hand is a delicate articulation. You break your hand or wrist, you hope that it heals correctly, but
Right.
So my point is, the damages, the more serious an injury, the more money the case is potentially worth. So I'm a little bit shocked that the lawyer told you don't have a case. It's true that 2 witnesses against 1 is not great, but here's the thing that this lawyer didn't tell you. Getting a copy of the police report is super important.
Right.
Did the police report put you as Unit 1 or as Unit 2? If you're Unit 2, that means the police officer thinks it's the other guy's fault.
Oh. So their opinion does matter at the end of the day.
It definitely can. Mm-hmm. Now, there's on the second side of a crash report, there's a narrative section where the police officer writes down what witnesses tell him about what they saw.
Right.
And also, a lot of times there's the witness's information on the report, right?
So 2 against 1 is such a... he's not giving him the whole story, because there could be 5 people watching.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And even if they didn't with a broken wrist, you're probably not going to get out of your car and walk around and say, hey, can you be my witness? I might have an accident case.
Your gimp hands.
Yeah, no, it's not. Who's going to do that? You're going to be in an ambulance getting taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. So, but see, signing the case and doing an investigation, if your Chicago crash attorney, car crash attorney knows what he's doing, he's going to do that. Here's another thing. A lot of neighborhoods have those orb cameras. Those orb cameras
It's always
show...
recording.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just got orb camera footage in a crash case that basically shows the entire thing.
So when you say orb, is there a difference between like a regular camera, or does it only light up when there's motion, or like turn on when there's motion going on?
So they're always recording.
Oh, always. Okay,
right.
cool.
And I think they're mainly like City of Chicago's security cameras.
Oh, okay.
And you can request, if there's a crash, sometimes the police will request the footage or that the footage be preserved.
Sure.
And if somebody contacts me soon enough after a crash, I can contact the city and ask them for the video before it gets deleted, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this is just like the tip of the iceberg. About ways to prove who was really in the right and who was really in the wrong, right?
It's not just based off whoever's in the passenger side of this other guy's car. Because, of course, they could say anything if they're the ones at fault, right?
No, 100%. And here's the other thing. If the police report will tell us a couple other things. It might be that at the scene of the crash, before the SUV driver and passenger have a time to talk to their insurance company or their family who says, this is what you do to get out of this case, they may tell the police officer something completely different.
Right.
And the officer may write it in the report, and now you have great evidence. The other thing is, if the police officer writes the SUV driver a ticket and he goes to traffic court to dispute the charge, but he pleads guilty to the ticket, a plea of guilty in a traffic ticket can be used as evidence in the civil case.
Oh, geez.
So my point is, there are about 1,000 things here that could and should be investigated.
Wow.
So somebody with a broken wrist, with an injury like this, major impact, any, Chicago accident lawyer worth their salt would sign up the case and investigate it. So,
do you think this lawyer thought this was too much work?
It might be. It could be that they're not, that they don't sort of specialize or they don't do a lot of injury cases and they're just looking for a super easy case. I don't know. I mean, to me, it sounds like a case. Sometimes lawyers want the slow pitch, but I mean, honestly, we all do, right? Like, I joke around all the time. I wish I had, like, 100 cases in my office, all of them worth $10 million.
Sure.
And all of them settle 15 minutes after I sign them up.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd open
You'd retire early.
I'd open my Hawaii branch of the law office.
Would any work get done, though, in the Hawaii branch? And also, what kind of injuries can you get in Hawaii?
No.
Like, I slip and fall on my surfboard and fell into paradise.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you should totally talk to a lawyer. If you need to talk to a lawyer, whether it's me or somebody else, do not take what that lawyer told you as true. It's a good case.
Yeah, this sounds pretty cut and dry.
It's amazing to me how many people with good cases get talked out of doing anything by, like, an idiot either with or without a law degree. Like, so many people get hurt, and, like, their family member will tell them, oh, well, I got injured years ago and I didn't get anything out of it, so you shouldn't. And then they drop, then they call me like a week before the 2-year deadline.
Oh, my God.
It's like crazy. But, hey, wrist fracture, serious business.
Seriously.
It wasn't your fault.
No.
Don't listen to that guy. Talk to a lawyer.
Yeah, get a second opinion. What's it going to do, Like,
well, why would it hurt?
Right.
Exactly.
Pun intended.
Yes. Boom, boom. No, it wasn't intended, yet it was apropos.
Lawyer jokes.
Would you like to do an accent as we wrap up this podcast, or
how about I just like tease everyone and I'll save it for the next podcast that we do.
Way to leave breadcrumbs.
Right?
Breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs.
Maybe I need more coffee. I don't know.
Maybe.
Tripping over my words here.
Got to drink out of your Star Wars mug a little more. Your Darth Vader.
Awesome.
Into the darkness a little more.
All right. Well, I hope that information helps you folks. Thanks for listening, and be on the lookout for our next podcast. Thanks, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. I truly hope that the information in the podcast helps you no matter the situation you find yourself in. But you might need more answers or some more direct help. So there are 3 ways for you easily to find out more and to get help. If you call my toll-free 24-hour helpline, 888-HURT-318, you'll have a couple of options. 888-HURT-318 is my toll-free 24-hour telephone line. You can call that number and speak with my team night or day. First, you can call 888-HURT-318, and you can speak to me for a free consultation about your case or situation. That's always free and no obligation. Second, you can tell the operator that you'd like a free copy of my injury DVD and book. I created the DVD and book, and I give it away for free to injured people who need answers, but who might not be ready to talk to a lawyer yet. Same deal, 100% free, 100% no obligation. Third and finally, you can check out my YouTube channel for informative videos about the injury case and claims process, or check out my other podcasts for more information and interesting interviews with people who know different things about various aspects of the law. I've put all of this together to help you and to answer your questions. Now, you can also help me, and I hope that you will. If you enjoyed the podcast and if it helped you at all, please subscribe, and if you can, take a minute and please post a positive review of the show. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you know anyone who might enjoy the podcast, please spread the word and share it on Facebook. It's my mission to spread good information to as many people as possible, and your liking and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast helps me get the word out. Thanks again. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It doesn't substitute for consulting with a lawyer. If you have a case, speak with a lawyer right away.